Good morning and welcome back to B for TV, your daily dose of industry information. Frauds and scams continue to pose a significant risk to freight forwarders. In today's episode, Robert from our Policy and Compliance team shares the current scams that are targeting our members and the steps that they can take to protect their business. Good morning, Robert.
Good morning, Natalie.
So scams affecting our members and the wider freight forwarding industry continue to evolve. We've heard so much about this topic. We've touched on it quite a few times now, haven't we?
Yes, we have. It's a large part of my daily work and of the association's work. And basically today what we want to do is to try and just tie up for the viewer the different types of scam which are impacting our members.
Of course. So let's remind our viewers here around the main types of scams that members are currently facing.
Yes, there's three types. The first one is the short firm fraud, which we've talked about in great detail and we've published articles about. If you remember, we've given it the nickname the mango fraud, the Great Mango Fraud. And actually, if you Google Great Mango Fraud, we come up on this. The other problem, which is impacting particularly the road freight sector, where hauliers are putting jobs up on platforms, is impersonation or identity fraud, and that seems to be particularly prevalent in Europe. And the last one is something which came across my desk about 4 weeks ago. It's trademark scams. We've done articles about that. It is more limited in its impact than the first two.
Sure. So let's look at the practical steps now. So what can members do to reduce their risk of becoming a victim?
I mean, we have put out a good practice guide. In particular, it's about the checks that you do on a client and how you relate them to what is at Companies House and the data there. The other thing is, obviously, we've done several of these B4TV episodes, and what we've done is tried to link the first two with articles in B4Link magazine. It all boils down to that old thing, KYC, which is know your customer.
And each time we talk about this, you do stress the importance of reporting these frauds. Mm-hmm. Why is that so?
It's very simple. Government only acts when it's got data or information. And it's a long, slow, hard process to get them to act. So the only way to give them the data that they will make a decision on and then do something about it is to keep reporting this matter, these thefts, because that's what it is. It's fraudulent obtaining of services, which is theft in my book. Just keep reporting so that government gets enough information for us to go to and say, you've had this data, what are you going to do about it? But I do emphasise this is going to be a long, slow haul.
Sure.
Okay.
So what support has BFA put in place to help members report fraud and also work with the relevant authorities?
Over the last months, we have actually made contact with different government agencies. Now, we are a supporter of NAVSIS. So the first thing, if you've got a theft from a vehicle exceeding £10,000, you can come to us and we will intervene and make sure NAVSIS take the case up. So that's a good step. Now, the other action we've been able to agree upon is with an organisation called the Insolvency Service, Insolvency UK. Mm-hmm. And once again, if the member has been a victim of fraud and it exceeds £10,000, they have to report it, and we've got various links to government departments that they report this matter to. So report it. If it's over £10,000, there is a document now on our website, and we'll talk about that in a bit more detail later. And basically send it to us, and we have got 2 nominated contacts within the Insolvency UK who will take this matter up.
Sure. And on that note, as you said, we do have a brand new website page that's been created that houses all this information for our
Yes.
members. As you said, there's some contact details there for NAVSIS. There's some explanations on the frauds that we've just gone through today.
Yes.
And also that form that you mentioned just now around reporting items or incidents to
Yes.
the insolvency service.
Yeah.
So that is now live on our website, isn't it?
Yeah, and just one thing about the form, if you remember, because you helped me massively on this, it has been agreed with Insolvency UK. So they say that is the data they need to start looking at this matter.
Absolutely, Robert. Thank you so much for your update and thank you for joining us this morning.
That's fine, Natalie.
If you'd like to learn more about this topic, you'll find some useful links in the description below. And just a reminder that the e-newsletter will be sent out about this topic to all of our members tomorrow. That's all for today's episode of B4TV, your daily dose of industry information.